It's the only show that blends all things marketing with the latest in tech trends. This is The Purple Tie Show. Well, I'm your host. What Robert Martin, I'm the marketing guy.
And I'm Blake Singleton, the tech guy.
Oh, my God. I was trying so hard not to laugh at you during that intro. I was like, oh, God, I'm going to laugh. Oh, man, this past week's been crazy.
It's been, yes.
Yeah.
Crazy's a good way to put it.
Speaking of crazy, I didn't have a little slider going where I could watch my thing going off the screen. I enjoyed that a lot. But anyway, you made a trip 45 minutes down and 45 minutes back to do what earlier this week?
Turn on a monitor for a customer.
Turn on a monitor. Oh my God.
So we were talking about this earlier in the week, and that's when I decided that I'm going to have a checklist that I go down before I head out to somebody's location, because the client is not computer savvy at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what part of the computer they're talking about. It's all the computer.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the monitor and the tower.
I remember you asking the customer, you were like, so what's it doing? Nothing.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Can you be a little more descriptive? Yes, it's doing nothing.
Yeah. And from what he was describing, I thought maybe the monitor had gone out. It happens, happens all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, just go buy a new monitor, plug
People
it in.
walk out in front of a bus, too.
Well, that's not relevant. So I told him, I said, go buy a new monitor, come hook it up, and make sure that it's just the monitor, because if you don't have to replace the computer, you don't want to. It's got all your stuff on there. And he said, okay. So I assumed, which was my fault, that he had
bought, what that does, right?
Right. That he had gone and bought a new monitor and hooked it up. Nope, did not. He did not go and buy a new monitor. So at some point during the previous week, he apparently thought I had set an appointment to go see him, and I hadn't. And then I double booked for an afternoon time slot, so I had to push him up to a morning time slot. So I had to get up super early so I could get to his place before I had to go do all my other stuff, because I didn't want to put him off any longer than I had to. So I went out there and I drove for 45 minutes, and I got there and I started looking around, and the computer was turned on, but there was no light on the monitor.
And you were like, oh, crap.
So I thought, okay, monitor went out. Let me just try the power button just to see.
Oh, my God.
Came right on.
And he was like, oh, my God, what'd you do?
Yeah. Come to find out, he'd had a power outage, and it had blown the network jack, so he wouldn't have been able to use it to get email or surf the net or anything like that. But, I mean, that was easily remedied. We went and got a USB network jack and hooked it up. Actually, I walked him through it. I texted him what he needed. I said, go buy this. Just show it to the person that you're going to talk to whenever you get into the store. They'll take you right to where you need to go. You're going to bring it back to the office. I'm going to walk you through how to plug it in, and everything will be fine. Now, I want y'all to realize a USB network jack has no drivers. There's nothing special about it. You literally plug it in, plug in your network cable, and you're done. But it took me 20 minutes to walk this guy through it over the phone. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, so we said we weren't going to talk about this, but I think we're going to touch briefly on it, and I'm going to point out my pain points and stuff.
I guess I'm just going to have to keep quiet.
You are going to have to keep quiet. So let's talk for a moment about network marketing. This is your BNI groups. This is the chamber. This is pretty much anything that gets you up at, oh my God, o'clock and drives you.
Well, that's not entirely true. We found one that does lunches instead of like 7 a.m. breakfasts.
You know what? So my thing with the chamber, I even asked, I said, can we not do brunch and biz instead of breakfast and biz, or hot coffee? Could we not do afternoon tea or something? I mean, I'm not really a morning person, and they're like, oh, well, everything starts, because, okay, full disclosure, y'all all know that I am a larger dude, and I don't just, all nilly-willy and go out into public. I mean, it takes me a minute to make all this great stuff happen.
That's not my problem with stuff that's 7 a.m. It's the fact that it's 7 a.m. I am a second shift kind of guy. You know what I mean?
I'm a get up around 8. be to work around 10.
That's me. But I'll work until midnight.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock if I can.
But that's what a lot of people don't get. It's you are pre-programmed for a specific time to get up. And forcing yourself to wake up earlier or wake up later is detrimental to your sleep habits. So technically, network marketing is bad for your health. That is confirmed on this.
God.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God! Scientific proof.
Yes.
That you should get 2 segments of 4 hours of sleep instead of 1 segment of 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, I saw that earlier, and I was like, so what? You're going to sleep from like midnight to 4 in the morning, and then you're going to get up, and then you're going to sleep from like noon to 4. You slept through half the business day.
You know, around the equator, cities around the equator where it's warm year round, they have the 2 o'clock nap.
You know what I just discovered recently? Ecuador is not next to the equator.
Oh, okay.
Moving on.
Geography is not my
Trigonometry has always messed me up, man. I tell you. But anyway, yeah. So network marketing, they always want to start super duper early, right? And you always meet like 2 or 3 really good people, right? And you know you're glad you're genuinely overall glad you went, right?
Right.
But then there's just like this herd of other people that's just there.
The Me Too's.
Yeah, the Me Too's. It's the
here's something that I don't get
it's
about
my business's anatomy is larger than your business's anatomy, and I can prove it.
So we were invited to a BNI meeting this past week, and they have specific seats that you hold if you perform certain tasks within the group. And I'm not entirely sure what you have to do to keep the seat, but they said that you could lose the seat if you don't do certain things. But here's what I don't get, and it's something you mentioned earlier. There was a guy there that cut grass for a living, and there was a guy there that trimmed hedges for a living. But the guy that cut grass also trimmed hedges, and the guy that trimmed hedges also cut grass. But they held 2 different seats.
Right. And so I don't know if they make, like, they've got a web designer, right, that's already there. A web developer.
They've got a developer, yes.
And they've got a computer person already there, and they've got like 2 or 3 different marketing people there that's into promotional items, into whatever. And so the seat that's open that we would fit in, right, is a small, very minute part of our business. And I love Becca to death, right? And she was the one that invited us. And, you know, I can see the benefits of being there. Number one, though, I can't get up that early. I just can't. I'm not.
That's not even what gets me.
Get
like over the past 3 weeks, I've had to wake up early on so many occasions that it's just sort
You're just over
like,
it now.
I've got insomnia real bad now because of it. But
hey, I woke up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning, and I was just like, I'm gonna go to work, you know, because. But yeah, I get it.
Here's what gets me about it, right? It's a weekly meeting.
Oh yeah,
it is once a week. And if you don't get your butt there, and you miss a day,
you out.
They can.
And keep your dues and stuff.
Keep your dues. You lose your seat. You lose everything, all the benefits. And I can't dedicate that much time to the meetings.
No, because it's like from 8:30 to like 10.
Yeah.
You know,
every Thursday.
Every Thursday. And the thing is, you know, so here's my thing. The part that's open is for the graphic designer.
Right.
And graphic design is such a small fragment of a nugget of piece of sand that is our business, right?
Yeah.
That for me to be like, oh yeah, I hold the graphic designer seat for this chapter. Well, big deal. There's a web developer here, right? So you can't come to me to do your website, or at least you're not supposed to.
Right.
You're supposed to go to the preferred web developer.
Right.
And it's just like, you know, but then you got somebody that's in landscaping, but then you got somebody that's in, you know, the
lawn
grass
care.
Cutting business, and you're like, hey, y'all. I mean, so. What do I do? Do I go to him and be like, okay, now you can do my flower garden, right? But you can't touch my grass. I got to go to so-and-so. Yeah, but I'm already here, and I'm going to charge you like $2 to run the mower over it real quick. Are you going to go ahead and let him do it, or are you going to go to the preferred grass guy too?
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things, and it just I don't know.
It's a little less rigid than we think it is, but I got to tell you, the meeting was a little surreal for me. I was not prepared for some of the stuff that took place, and it's just not. I don't feel like I would fit in.
Well, I mean, you don't like network marketing stuff anyway. You don't like going and shaking babies and kissing hands.
No,
I mean, that's just not your thing. I've done a couple of breakfast and biz with the chamber, and that was okay. But I don't know. It's just there's some people there that once you meet them, you just feel like you need a shower.
Yeah, there were. Yes.
Yeah, and so and that's the same with I think anything, hot coffee, which we've not been to.
Well, I've never been to any of the chamber stuff except for the
young professionals.
Young professionals. That's the only one I ever went to.
And there's still people there that you're just like, I don't know. You shook my hand. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. I'm going to wash my hands.
What gets me about the young professionals is the same thing that gets me about the BNI. There's certain people there that you're like, why? Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Why are you specifically? I understand why your business would be here, but why did you come here?
Right.
And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, so the young professionals is all people that's
under 40,
and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
but they work for other companies, and it's just like, why? I mean, I understand
You're not
why
a
the business is
owner.
here,
Right?
But I don't understand why you are here.
Yeah, or maybe more specifically,
Or
why
maybe
I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a thing where I'm in the wrong place
Because
that's happened. I almost went to jail once because of that. Look, those train tracks were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we're moving on. So that's network marketing in a nutshell. Try it out.
and a lot of people would really enjoy network marketing. Like, I get why Becca really enjoys that, because she really wanted us to go, and she's been trying to get us to go for weeks and weeks now.
And our schedule just didn't
allow for it.
But I mean, here's the thing. I enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed being there for Becca, and I enjoyed meeting most of the people there. There was a couple of people that I was just like, we're not really going to click. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't care for the overall structure. It just didn't appeal to me.
Right.
So that's the political proper way to put that. So, but moving on, and so I said something to you funny this week, and you gave me total crap about it for like 2 days.
I don't even remember what I said, but you
said something. You said something sarcastic, right?
Yeah, and you had these profound words to throw back in my face.
Oh man! So we're sitting in the bank drive-thru. Blake says something sarcastic. I don't even remember what it was. And I said, you only get so many breaths in life, so why you want to waste them like that?
And I gave Robert the middle finger.
Hey, we moved on.
And I got my receipt and left.
Oh, man, I'm sure they didn't appreciate that in the bank drive-thru.
You know what? 1,000 years from now, whenever somebody stumbles across an archive of this podcast, I want them to think to themselves, that's a very profound thing to say. You only have so many breaths in life. Why you won't waste them like that?
Why you won't waste them like that? I think that's the best part of the whole statement. Why you won't waste them like that?
You went from really profound, like, scholarly person to straight up Southern
redneck. So speaking of Southern redneck, though, I want to talk on this episode about, and you hear it a lot, right? You hear, especially down here in the South, you hear people go, well, I reckon he's good for X number of dollars, talking about a client, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, so the actual like section on this is pricing services by what the customer can afford versus what you actually need, right? And so I was listening to Russell Bronson. I think that's his last name, right? Bronson?
I don't know.
Anyway, Russell said .com Secrets is the guy. But he said that, you have to build, and when he said it, I was like, oh, I've been doing this all wrong. So I'm a moron. So he said that, the amateurs always focus on the front end, right? They see the money. They see the, what can I get out of this customer? What can I get out of, this job, this, whatever that we're doing. And I've seen a lot of people, they'll go, well, I think I can get X number of dollars out of this customer.
Right.
Instead of building the back end first, right? Which is what he was talking about. Okay. To live the kind of lifestyle that I want to live, I need $20,000 a month. Well, how do I get to that $20,000 a month? All right. I need, 200 customers at $50 a piece to make up $10,000 of that $20K, right? Then I need, 4 website developments per month at $2,500 a month to make up the other $10,000, right? So bringing me, a total of $20,000. So then you have to figure out, okay, to be able to sell 4 websites, how many potential clients do I need to be in front of every week? What percentage of that's going to close? I mean, it's all very mathematical, and so instead of pricing your services by, like virus removal, right? So you look at a computer company and you go, so why do you charge $75 for that? And they go, well, that's what I think I can get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why? Well, I don't know. Well, how much is your hourly rate? Well, I get, X number of dollars an hour. So how long does it take you to I get $60 an hour. Let's just, that's a little low, but let's just say I get $60 an hour, right?
Right.
Well, how long does it take you to remove a virus? Well, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. All right. How many of them can you do at once? Well, I can have 3 of them going at once. Okay. You start doing the math, right? You're actually losing money at that. You're not making, if it costs you $60 an hour to keep, or $65 an hour to keep the store open, right?
Right.
And you're only making $60 an hour doing the repair, then you're actually losing money at the end of the day. And that's where your little stuff comes in, selling a case here, selling a case there, selling a glass screen protector or whatever to make up that money that you're losing, right? If you fix that issue in the front end, right? If you fix that front end issue, the only way really to fix it is to know the back end result, right? So I need X number of dollars.
You're saying making arbitrary changes to your pricing based on the money that you need right now is not going to fix problems in the company because you don't actually know what you need.
Right. And to say, somebody, so on another scale, right? Say you got some, let's say you're Apple, right? We like to pick on Apple sometimes.
Yeah.
Jacob. So say you've got, a college student coming in looking at a MacBook Air, which they don't make anymore, I don't think. But let's say they're looking at a MacBook, right?
Right.
Well, they're a college kid, they're going to use their student ID. You're not going to show them the absolute top of the line, door busting MacBook Pro because they can't afford that. That's out of the price range. So you're wasting your breath showing it to them, most likely. But you take a nice dressed business lady that walks in and she's like, I want a MacBook Pro to run my business.
Well, on that same note, though, going back to the college kid that you're not going to get, the $5,000 Mac Pro out of, you were talking about making up the difference with the little add-on. So if you sell Apple Care for an extra $150, there's an extra $150 that you wouldn't have made otherwise. I mean, you only sold a $1,500 laptop instead of a $5,000 desktop supercomputer. But
but do you need any adapters?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Do you need adapters?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
if you're buying an Apple product, you need adapters.
Yeah. Apple, the great adapter creator. Hey, let's build this laptop and see how many adapters we can make it.
Every time I think of Apple and their adapter situation, I think of there's this old meme from a long time ago that's got like a serial connector with all the different adapters going
all the
back
way to USB.
To a USB or to another serial connector or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
But that's what I think of every time I think of Apple and their
very
adapter
good.
Situation.
Very, very good. But then you're going to ask, do you need a and I don't know that Apple sells this, but do you need a jelly do you need a jelly keyboard thing that goes over the keyboard?
The answer is no, you don't, because they're annoying. And whenever you bring them into my shop, I remove them immediately.
Yes, they are very annoying. Do you need another power adapter? Because we've got those on sale.
Yeah.
So
see, if you walk into any Apple store, that's why they've got just walls and walls of accessories. They know you're not going to go in there and buy the most expensive thing every time.
I think they have stuff just stuck in the back somewhere, just piles and piles.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
Boxes.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Whenever I went in to get a mouse not too long ago, they came out and it was just in a plain cardboard box. I'm like, how do you even know that's a mouse? It's not marked. How do you know?
It's a little square box. Comes out of a box of like 500 of them straight from China.
Probably some
check
pallet.
Check it for some of them banana. Check them for some of them banana spiders. I hear if you get bit by one, you die. But the point is though, if you have a lady walk in or a man walk in that's dressed nice, successful business person, they're like, I wish to purchase a MacBook Pro for my business, my very successful business. You're going to walk them over to the most expensive thing you got in the store and start there.
Yep.
And work your way backwards. Where if you got a college kid that walks in, you're probably going to start with something a little more reasonable and work your way into Apple Care and accessories and all that other stuff. So don't look at a customer and go, well, I think they're good, because that's also going to ruin the value, right? So if you look at a customer and you go, I think I can get about $2,100 out of that one. And then you build a website. Let's say you build a website for like $2,100. Well, then you go around and you price a website to somebody that's a real estate person, and you're like, well, I think I can get $5,000 out of them. Well, if they ever talk, right, and then granted, the website for the real estate guy would probably be a lot more than, say, a pest control company.
If you can justify the difference in price, it's a different story. But if you're making two identical products, if you're giving two people identical products and charging different prices for it, you're going to get a bad reputation, first of all. And second of all, somebody's going to get mad.
Somebody's going to get super pissed off. It's just like if you did an oil change and you did the exact same oil filter and the exact same oil, but you charged, a dude that drives, an
F-150,
a Toyota less money than somebody that drove, who makes, what does Toyota make? Lexus. It's the same. I mean, it's basic. I mean, not the same car, obviously. The oil filter is probably a little different and a little more money and blah, blah, blah. But if you charge them different just because they drive a different car, right? You just base it off of, well, they can afford a little more. That's where you get yourself screwed up. Yeah. And you get yourself screwed up really, really quick.
Not only that, you dilute the value that you offer. You dilute yourself in that as well. We ran into that problem year before, whenever we started the restaurant website, and it was undersold, drastically undersold whenever we had a salesperson doing it for us. And it's coming back to bite us now, because now that restaurant has opened another type of restaurant and they want us to do their website for this new one. And now we're going to have to come back and say, well, I know we charged you this really low price for this really awesome website. Yeah. But
this
now
introductory price.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
Well, and the thing is, the salesperson that we had was hungry to make a sale, right? To prove a point. I can do this.
On the front end.
Focusing on the front end. Let's focus on, instead of focusing on, what can we do to bring value? Because if we'd have focused on the back end with this customer, But at that point, I mean, I thought, hey, I got a salesperson. I don't have to sell anything.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'd rather sell it myself than have somebody else sell it for me. But if I'd have focused on the back end, right, we'd have built them an awesome website for a fair price, and then I would have upsold them on Facebook advertising, Google ads, all the different little,
and now
little
we won't,
stuff.
We won't
now
get
we
that
don't
opportunity
get it because they went somewhere
they
else.
went with someone else.
Because
That's
they
right.
assumed we were the low price guys that
Right.
didn't know nothing about any of that.
Right.
Ah, God, you live, you learn, you get loves because you end up pooping your pants.
Right.
Well,
We've all been there.
Well, boy, those socks are ruined.
I do need new socks.
I really want to talk about, just to wrap this up, God, there's one other thing. Okay, fine, we'll talk about the guy. So, it's funny.
This one will be quick.
I know.
This is another tech related
this
story.
This is a tech related story, and then the other one's not. But I really want to talk about it. So we went to the gym last weekend because it's closed this weekend because they're quote remodeling the bathroom.
It needed to happen, but
Oh God! But anyway, so there's some dude in there, and these kids like all splashing around and being a kid, and oh God, that's what all kids sound like to me. But anyway. He's got his phone and he's videoing this kid, right? And they are in the pool, like in the 4-foot section of the pool.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, that's how cell phones get broken.
Yeah.
That's water damage waiting to happen.
I mean, what? Why? I'll tell you why, and we talked about this the other day, too. We actually spoke with a customer about it the other day.
We did?
Well, yeah, you talked to one of them yesterday on the phone about it. You said... You were giving out prices for screen repair, and they said something along the lines of, well, I only paid $199 for the phone. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You paid $199 down, and you've paid $40 a month for 2 years. Now, tell me what you actually paid.
And the guy, you could tell the guy's mind was blown, right? Because he's like, well, I only paid, $199 for this phone. No, you didn't. So you paid $199 plus a 2-year contract. So how much money did you actually pay him? And he went, oh, hell.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Nobody ever does. At least AT&T has started becoming more upfront about it.
Yeah, they're upfront, and they're like, hey, you're actually paying, $31 a month for the phone plus, $15 for the line charge. And they've been a little more transparent about it here lately.
But whenever smartphones first came out and they were ungodly expensive.
Oh, they just hid the price in the contract.
They just hid the price in the contract, straight up. You're paying $60 a month for your phone service.
But we're going to give you this phone for free. No, they didn't.
No, you're not.
It was So, yeah, that's aggravating. But yeah, it was like an aha moment.
And the kid's splashing around and being a kid and just having fun, and dad's in the pool with him, just with his phone, recording the whole thing.
Having fun.
Yeah. And I'm like,
sure, they just snapping that up.
Yeah, I mean, why?
That's how good phones die.
Yeah, he had. I couldn't even tell what kind of phone it was, but I know you can buy a.
It had to be expensive.
I know you can buy a. What are these? These right here.
A GoPro.
Yeah, you can buy a GoPro for $400. That's nowhere near as expensive as your phone.
Yeah, but that's not near as convenient. I ain't got it with me.
Yeah. Well.
All right. So, but that's
annoying. That's
y'all
what that
don't
is.
swim with your phone.
No phone is waterproof.
Jacob's like, I got the iPhone 7 because it's water resistant. So if it's I'm at the pool, I don't have to worry about it getting accidentally splashed.
Dude,
I got news for you.
If my iPhone is at the pool, it is in a bag or somewhere not right beside the pool.
I leave mine in the car.
That's where I leave mine when I'm at the gym.
I ain't even taking it in the locker room.
No,
it's too moist in there.
Yeah. No, those lockers do one thing. They keep honest people honest. If somebody wanted to go through those lockers, all they need is a paper clip.
Not even that. You can take a key,
And unlock every...
And unlock... All you got to do is jiggle it the right way, and it'll open.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of them old... those cheap locks that you used to get out of the candy machine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Screw you. So, show my age.
By the time I was getting stuff out of the little quarter machines, it was like you got your little rubber balls and you got stickers and those temporary tattoos, and that's all I ever... Oh, and occasionally you get like... stupid rings like spider rings and stuff like that.
No, you got little bitty locks with these little keys and stuff. And I mean, not that you could use it for anything, but so
it's like, cool, I can lock my book.
I can lock my nothing with this because it's so freaking small.
Yeah.
So we were talking about teaching others for a profit the other day, right?
Yeah.
Tutoring, if you will.
Yes.
Tutorialing. Is that a word? Tutorialing?
It's better than tutoring.
Tutoring.
You can't even...
I can't even say it.
I can't even
say the wrong word the right way. That's going to happen. So I have been just elbows deep in a Facebook ads for small business class. I mean, I've about drowned in this thing.
It was a 4-week course that you finished in 6 days.
Well, there's a lot of information in it. But it got me to thinking, because we've been doing Facebook ads and we've been doing...
That's not entirely true.
Well, we've been boosting posts. We haven't actually done any true blue Facebook ads.
We haven't done any Facebook ads in a long time.
Yeah, well, it's because, we weren't getting any traction. And now that, I've been through the course once, I'm sitting here going, how many other business owners were sitting out there and they were playing on Facebook and they were boosting posts and they were like, well, I keep putting money at it and I don't get anything out of it. Yeah. So I think I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to just not do that anymore. And granted, I'm nowhere near ready for this, but my thought process is, once we finish, the course is finished. We're building our ads at this point.
Right.
And we're building our transition sites and all this other stuff. But once we get this under our belt and we have a little bit better understanding of it, and I know there's a lot of people out there doing it, but there's people there's two extremes of this. There's the people that tease about doing it.
Right.
And then there's the people that sell $1,000 course to teach you everything you need to know about a Facebook ad.
Yeah.
There's no one in between, though. There's no one in that, $250-ish price range that will actually give your business the just the knowledge it needs to not waste money on Facebook.
Right.
To show you, well, this is what the ad manager looks like. This is how to build your ad. This is what you should be doing. Not an in-depth course like what I'm taking where it's, granular down to the point of granularism, but
new word, y'all. Granularism.
Granularism. That is the current state of being granular. Granulary. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing a course once, and we're probably, at least a month or two, maybe even 3 or 4 out from even attempting it. But I think what I want to do is do a course that would help the small business owner stop wasting money, basically, on Facebook ads. And obviously the upsell to this course would be let us do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can sell a course for $199 that's going to teach you how to do it yourself, if you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself, right? Then...
I'm nodding, and this is an audio podcast.
You're nodding.
Yes, I understand that.
I understand that, and I agree. I concur. But we're probably 3 months out of that.
We got to record all of the instructions and edit it down.
Yeah,
and stuff
we'll have to do all the screen captures and everything else. It's going to be an in-depth little course. It's probably going to be a hour or 2 training video at the end of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But there's so much that's going to go into it, and where do you draw the line? Do you Do you teach them about the value ladder and how you give away a little something to get a big something, you know? Like, at what point do you go, God, you should already know that, but...
That's going to be that's going to be part of the planning process.
I think, so basically, I'm going to have to sit down and draw out, lesson number 1, module number 1, lesson 1, 2, 3, module number 2, and actually build out modules for this.
What I feel like needs to happen is you need to write out a timeline. Everything that needs to happen from the beginning before you even get started with Facebook ads to your final finished product where you're making money, and then figure out what needs to go where in what module,
Yeah.
Because you're going to have that timeline to figure out what all you need.
Well, if you think about let's just take a dentist, for example, right? And this dentist, gives away a free teeth cleaning to get you in the door, right? Well, while you're in there, he's probably going to be like, do you smoke?
Oh, yeah, smoking.
Do you smoke? Do you drink coffee? Your teeth are really yellow. We got this whitening kit that we can send home with you, and it's only $99.
Yeah.
Right? So now this teeth clean just turned into a $99 teeth whitening kit.
Right.
And did you have braces when you were a kid? Well, yeah. How you know that? Well, your teeth are kind of... They could use a little room to breathe, and if you don't do something, they're going to end up being janked up.
Yeah.
So, but we can do a retainer for you for a couple $100 or $3. So now you've turned that teeth clean, and then whenever you get ready to leave, they're like, "Hey, okay, so you want to be scheduled in 6 months to get your teeth cleaned again?" Well, now they've just turned that into a monthly. Well, I say monthly, a 6-month recurring fee to get your teeth cleaned. So,
not to mention if they find any other problems with the teeth while you're in there.
Yeah,
and that sort of thing.
You get somebody that needs a crown or an implant. I mean, that's some serious cash. So, giving away that free teeth cleaning made you a butt ton of money. And if you don't know what a butt ton is, look it up on
Southern
Urban
Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary, or Southern Dictionary. I should buy southerndictionary.com just to...
I'm sure open. Jeff Foxworthy already owns
that. Oh, my God.
No, but see, that's something that you'd have to explain to some people, and some people would already know. You've got those business owners that understand the value of free.
Right.
And then you've got the people that think, no, I'm not giving away anything. I'm charging for everything that I do.
Well, no, my time's valuable. I'm not going to do that. Well, then, I mean, you got to have... So, that's the dumbed-down Southern version of a value ladder, right? You give away free beer to get them to the concert to spend money on the T-shirts and the liquor and all the other stuff, right? So that's the value ladder, Southern style.
God, it reminds me of every radio the fundraisers that the radios used to do where I was growing up, because they'd always hold them in this giant field, and it'd always have like 6 or 7 bands that were going to perform throughout the day, and it was like a $30 fee to get in, and then
all the beer you could drink.
It's free beer. And it
wasn't free because you paid $30 for it.
It was free beer, free water, and you had to pay for all the food. And if you wanted to get into any of the tents that they had around, it was like a $5 fee. And by the time you left, you spent $100 there, not counting the $30 you paid to get in.
that is redneckism. Value ladder right there.
Hey, y'all come to this concert and it's free.
Yeah, right. Funnel cake is $10. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for the show today, though. If you guys want to find us online, it's pretty much Purple Tie Guys everywhere on the internet. Facebook.com/Purple Tie Guys, Twitter.com/Purple Tie Guys, PurpleTieGuys.com. God, where else? We're everywhere. We are